In fact, this election seems like more of a referendum on Nitish Kumar. He has served there for about close to 20 years right now. There's
Bihar politics is the bedrock is caste, and he has to get the caste combination. If he hasn't got that, and he is going to talk some other managerial language, people may not get it. I feel this should be the, in a way, last letter for JDU and also for Nitish. I know journalists love intensely labeling. So this Mandal versus Mandir is a very old label, and you brought it back.
Hello and welcome. I'm Srinivasan. This is Talking Sense with Srini. We're discussing battleground Bihar as political atmosphere in the state heats up in the run-up to the elections this year. Joining me to discuss more on Bihar politics is our editor-in-chief, Mr. Srinivasan. So thank you very much for your time.
It's always good to discuss elections.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. The opposition has been upping the ante, over special intensive revisions that's brought by the Election Commission recently. We are also seeing the India bloc pressing on certain important issues, including the nationwide caste census and, broader demands for social justice. These kind of themes seem like, the Mandal politics is kind of back. Is it going to be Mandal versus Kamandal this election season? And do you think these kind of themes would certainly work in Bihar?
I know journalists love intensely labeling. So this Mandal versus Mandir is a very old label, and
That's right.
you brought it back. Let's rewind back. If you remember, Advani's Rath Yatra stopped at in
Dhanbad.
industrial town of Dhanbad.
That's right.
And before it formally entered into Bihar. So Bihar is a home ground of Mandal, which is basically now renamed as social justice kind of movement, which Rahul Gandhi is trying to helm. So therefore, it always been like that. And in the past, it's been what's called MY combination, that is Muslims and Yadavs. That's been the bedrock of RJD's politics, and that's how Lalu could win election after elections. But he also had support of what is now called MBCs, Ati Pichda, very backward. And Lalu, in his own style, used to say things like this. He used to actually be a very good, storyteller. And in public rallies, he would say how, as a youngsters, he was riding buffaloes. And he would also say that Jin Niklega, which means some kind of magic will appear on that day, which basically means how extreme backward people are also going to vote for him. But last few years, a decade or so, it's been turned on its head now. RJD and Congress, which are in alliance, they basically have the MY combination. But for RJD, MY combination alone won't win the election for them. They need EBCs on their side.
That's right.
And that's what the attempt being made right now. But what BJP has done is, they repeated the kind of experiment which they did in Uttar Pradesh, where again there was an MY equation. The Yadavs there, who were strongly with, Samajwadi Party, and the father was a doyen of all, Akhilesh father, Mulayam Singh Yadav. All these Yadav votes he could aggregate, and therefore it was an intermediate caste which was ruling there. So again, there was an MY combination. But what BJP did was, it chipped away gradually, because there are a number of other castes below the intermediate caste, backwards and extreme backwards. They managed to chip away one by one those. And then this was said to be the great Chanakya's experiment, which is basically Amit Shah. And that's how they won UP first time. I think they tried to multiplicate this formula in Bihar, and BJP got some very good response. That's why the party handles both forward caste,
The social engineering.
in their social engineering, and also the extreme backward, and that combination has worked very well for BJP. And with Nitish's party, which is now JD, United Janata Dal United, which is a kind of drawn from their socialist backdrop. Basically, its bedrock was George Fernandez. He was the main leader there.
That's right.
So he had this Kurmi vote base, which is again a backward. and that's how he grew. And then now later he grew in stature. So this is on the one side. This is a combination of BJP plus JDU, which is formidable with other parties like Manji, Jitaram Manji, Ham, and he again broke away, and then he initially was with Nitish, broke away. He was briefly a CM. Then he joined back NDA combination. So they are a very powerful combine on that side as far caste equations are concerned, that they have upper caste, that they have extreme backward with the new formula, and also something like Jitiram Manji, again a backward, plus extreme again. And then you have also the final topping is Modi's charisma. So all these have worked for this combination. But on the other hand, what you have is basically RJD and Congress, and there are other. If you look at combination, there are at least two other people have joined them. I forgot to mention earlier that NDA also has Paswan.
That's right, Chirag Paswan.
Chirag Paswan. Now, coming back to the Congress, this India combination, Mahagathbandan, what they call, they have RJD plus Congress.
Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninist.
Marxist. And now they have two new entrants who joined, who switched from, NDA to this side. The one is VIP. There's a party called, which is basically Vikassheel Insan Party. And the other one is, Chirag Paswan's uncle, Paras Paswan, who earlier was in BJP and then he switched. So that's a new combination. So both are very formidable combination. So therefore, the question which you asked, whether is it going to be, Mandal versus Mandir, the old game, will it play out again? It really depends on how this combination, which is both seem on paper very equally poised and equally powerful, but how do they behave on the ground as we run up to the election, which is nearly, I think, 6 to 8 months away? What are the changes which happen on the ground? What kind of electioneering these two sides are able to do?
That's right.
And what kind of message they are going to send? That's what we have to see as we go along.
No, I mean, you brought in very important topics, the EBCs, and we understand that Bihar politics has got a lot of caste arithmetic that's involved. Talk about those issues in just a bit, but I want to keep the focus on Nitish Kumar. He's been the spotlight on Nitish Kumar. In fact, this election seems like more of a referendum on Nitish Kumar. He has served there for about close to 20 years right now. Do you see any kind of anti-incumbency that's coming in against Nitish's government? That's number one. And number two, how do you see any kind of leverage that he has? Because if you really look at the NDA's performance the last two elections, you see that they've been able to woo the women voters. Be it the Ladki Bahin Yojana or Ladli Behna Yojana in Madhya Pradesh, it has been a tremendous success. Nitish certainly seems to have, according to reports, to sort of have the support of women community there because of his policies, be the prohibition or be the free bicycles for women and all that. You think that leverage is on his side in a way?
I feel this should be the, in a way, last election for JDU and also for Nitish, because I think he is more or less running his course now. He has been Chief Minister for 20 years. Obviously, after 2 decades, you will incur quite a bit of anti-incumbency. And the other thing which is happening to him is, indifferent health. And it's being said, these are speculations that he's having quick memory losses, which I'm not able to confirm that, but certainly his health is not in good shape.
On his side, yeah.
Yeah, it's not on his side as it used to be. He started off, if we have to keep the focus on Nitish Kumar, as someone who's, kind of a Susashan, can give a very good, governance. And then he also had other thing about Paltu Ram, someone who can switch sides, who can do a quick somersault, which he had done often. But he was also considered a good administrator. But I think these things are getting weakened. One particular thing which seemed to have annoyed people in Patna and alarmed them more than annoyed is a recent shootout of a businessman right outside his doorstep. The gunmen were waiting and they came and shot him. And this kind of thing had happened quite a bit in RJD's Lalu's regime. At that time, it was called as Jungle Raj. The thing to remember is this particular businessman who was killed, his other relative was killed earlier, about 6 years ago or something. So the family has received a second jolt. Now that has really upset a whole lot of people there. Are we back to quotes what they used to call BJP, which used to lampoon RJD, saying that they can only provide a government which is, a jungle raj, which means where law and order would be constantly under question mark. After saying all this, is this their governance also, kind of sliding to the same situation? That's a big question. So therefore, as far as governance is concerned, there are question marks. I'm not here even talking about bridge collapse. And the other factor is, please, you have to remember, 7% of Bihar's population is a migrant population. Nearly 75 lakh people, a quarter of a crore move out every year looking for employment. So if they were to ask some hard questions, it must be asked to Nitish, what happened in last 20 years?
That's
What
right.
kind of change he could bring to Bihar? Because after Uttar Pradesh, Bihar is a very important state politically, but then it is also important that it's one of those important Bemaru states, and it needs lift up. And he had to do something to lift the boat. So obviously these questions should be asked. But then coming back to your earlier, another part of the question about whether Nitish's work for women
That's
particularly,
right.
he has done a number of things, like you pointed out. He has given a 30% seats in Panchayat.
That's right. Quota.
And 30% or 35% also domicile. So domicile, that means they can get jobs within the states.
That's in the government.
Yeah, within the government. So that's the second move. Third, he has provided, as you correctly said, bicycles to girls so that they can go to school. And prohibition, very important. Women really welcomed it. I think these issues have helped him in the past, and women have supported him, and he had won elections in the past on the basis of these. But whether that lingers even now, whether the impact of those decisions still continues, is a big question, because things have changed. And whether women voters, maybe it's still sympathetic towards him, but whether it moved them that far where they will actually vote for him in the polling booth, we have to wait and see.
Okay, so as you rightly said, the extreme backward communities, they seem to play a pivotal role in these elections. Whom do you think that they would be rooting for?
Well, it's again it's not a homogeneous group.
Uh huh.
That it's not as if this will go one party or the
Okay,
one
but
way
we
or the
see,
other.
sort of measure that's
So,
happening on both ends. About
so there are some changes which have happened on the ground. That's why I referred to that VIP, the party,
okay,
which is
okay.
actually moved towards
Mm-hmm.
Mahagathbandan. And then the other one, the other thing is that RJD for the first time
That's right.
named its president, who happens to be from EBC community.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mangilal Mandal is again a EBC, and he's been going and saying in public forums, saying, "Look, no political party ever made EBC as a party chief."
The Congress too had a Bihar unit chief,
Yeah,
and
but
he's again from
again,
the
but
EBC.
that's the claim RJD is
Acha,
doing. So
okay.
they kind of pitching him. So this change has happened, and even like
But
you
he comes from the
pointed
community
out,
of cobblers.
exactly. So this has been done because now RJD is very conscious that we
That's
need
right.
to get those votes, and even Congress is trying. And both Rahul Gandhi, when he was recently there, they continued to emphasize this point. So obviously, an attempt is being made by them to get these kind of votes. So if your question is who will go which side, it's very difficult to say,
Difficult.
because it's not one homogeneous group.
Mm-hmm.
But if RJD even manages, or this combination of Mahagathbandan, to break into that and get back some of them, it's not as if they didn't have in the past, get back some aggregate votes from there, that will help them, because MY is already with them. They need this further topping to win the election. So that's their attempt. That's what they're trying right now.
Okay, so the another new entrant in the fray is Prashant Kishor. You see, somebody who sort of crafted election campaigns for a lot of political leaders is now entered officially into politics. How do you see, his prospects in this Bihar elections? He said he's going to contest in all the elections,
Yeah,
all the constituencies.
it's going to be really a tough one.
Hmm.
See, one thing is very clear. I mean, what is he saying
But could he make
is
it a three-way fight? Is the question.
so that's what I'm coming to. So, what is his pitch? His pitch is that he's going to give them some kind of a Gandhian,
That's right. Yeah.
he's going to bring the utopian Gandhi kind of a thing there. And he's trying to play on various symbols that like Indigo Revolution, which happened in Bihar. And he's trying to catch on those symbols. But the point here is Bihar is intensely, Bihar politics is the bedrock is caste. And he has to get the caste combination. If he hasn't got that and he is going to talk some other managerial language, people may not get it. But I won't be able to give a last word on how he could be or what he could do. But it's going to be a real test and challenge for him as well.
Hmm.
That whether a party which is completely basing itself on a different ideology can break new grounds. It's a big question mark. So he's completely untested. That to say this either way, this way or that way, but it will be too much to say at this stage that he could be a third force.
Okay. Okay, so and another important factor is Chirag Paswan. As we were talking, he's I don't know, but, analysts see him as, some say that he's a spring chicken, some see he could be a potential disruptor in the elections. But he's now a cabinet minister. He has got all. He says that he's too interested in Bihar politics. He's officially said that. What kind of role that he could be playing, because we already hear that there are reports of bickerings within the National Democratic Alliance, that and there are also reports that he could sort of emerge as some kind of an Eknath Shinde of Maharashtra, and he could be an Eknath Shinde of Bihar.
Well, Paswan is a very interesting case, and his father,
Ram Vilas
Ram
Paswan.
Vilas Paswan, from Hazaribagh, he won and broke all records
Hmm.
as an MP who got largest number of votes. This I'm talking of 80s. So, and then there was emergence of Paswan. Ramvilas Paswan never out of power. He was always in a winning party. He was always on the winning
That's
side.
right. Yeah.
And he was always at the center. He didn't play a role in the state politics. So Ramvilas Paswan is considered the best, somebody who could read the tea leaves very easily.
Hmm.
He was considered a past master on that. And he'll immediately switch sides because he could predict which party is going to be the winning one. And his son, interestingly, who was also an actor, has kind of started very tentatively, and his first outing wasn't so good,
Hmm.
where he was constantly knocking on the doorstep of BJPs, and he was, lots of eulogy for Modi ji and his politics, but they weren't allowing him. And they instead had his uncle,
Hmm.
Paras Paswan, on their side. But then later, in this recent 2024 election, this junior Paswan,
Chirag Paswan.
Chirag, managed to turn the tables
Hmm.
on his uncle, and he could win 5 parliamentary seats. So if you look at the tally, 12 was what RJD got. No, not RJD. 12 JD, you got 12. BJP got 12 seats. And he won 5. Strike rate of 100%.
Hmm.
All the candidates he fielded, all of them won. And therefore, he really made an impact. And that's why the question is whether he can be some kind of a, um, if not a kingmaker, at least somebody who would play a very crucial role.
Okay.
So he's very ambitious. But then the issue here is that influence of Paswans and it's limited to a certain geographical space and where there's a concentrated votes, and that's why he could win election after election. Whether he can really make a sizable legislative assembly members, then he would be in certain position. But then it also depends on what kind of ticket distribution happens.
Yeah.
Because BJP would like to be in the commanding they would be like to be in the driver's seat. For that, they would need at least 110, 120 seats of their own. And their target would be to maximize numbers so that they are somewhere near the midway mark, if not on their own, at least they are close to being that as a dominant party. Because if you look at BJP's style of operating, it would tie up with another party, maybe a tail-ender, but ultimately they want to be the head of the party.
That's right.
Which is what you saw in Maharashtra, which is a kind of formula they're also trying in Bihar. So it really depends finally how the ticket distribution also happens. Whether, and the other question is whether Paswan will be able to repeat the kind of strike rate he did in Lok Sabha. That's very tough. So we have to just wait and see till that stage comes before we say anything on what kind of role Paswan would play.
Thank you very much. A pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.